In Washington, presidents come and go, wars flare up and fade, but one thing never changes. The United States spends more on defense than anyone else. And who builds the arsenal? It's private companies. But Donald Trump does not like this arrangement. So in his second term as US president, he is rewriting the script. He wants a stake in US defense firms, the likes of Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Palantir. The Trump administration wants a stake in them. Says who? The US Commerce Secretary. He's their version of the Commerce Minister. His name is Howard Lutnick. He said that the government is thinking about this. Although the deals are far from being finalized, the idea is not, it does not seem far-fetched anymore. Because here's what happened last week. The US government took a 10% stake in Intel, the chip maker. We told you about it, 10% in Intel. And earlier this week, Trump floated the idea of owning the land in a South Korean base. So what is the game plan here? What is the Trump administration trying to do? First, let's understand their logic. Why do they want a stake in defense firms? Take Lockheed Martin, for instance. This company gets 97% of its revenue from Washington, from the US government, 97%. With that kind of dependence, can you still call it a private company? Howard Lutnick says you cannot. He called Lockheed Martin an arm of the US government. And this is not an isolated case. For most of these firms, these defense firms, their lifeline is contracts from the Pentagon. That's the US Defense Ministry. From fighter jets to missile systems, these companies sell everything to the US government. In fact, let me show you figures from 2020 to 2024. In this 4-year period, the top 5 defense contractors in America got $771 billion from the Pentagon. $771 billion in 4 years. Lockheed Martin got $313 billion. RTX got $145 billion. Boeing got $115 billion. General Dynamics $116 billion. And Northrop Grumman $81 billion. So the Trump team is asking, why not take the next step? Why not own a piece of the pie you're already baking? Which brings us to question number 2. What exactly is the plan? This is not about rescuing failing companies. This is about profit, leverage, and control. The Trump administration's line is quite straightforward. If taxpayers are effectively the customers, why shouldn't they also be shareholders? By putting government money directly into these companies, Washington gains not just weapons, but also dividends, voting rights, and influence. Basically, if you're using our money, give us a return. That's the idea. Then we come to the question of precedent, meaning, has it been done before? The answer is yes, but only in emergencies. For example, in World War II, Washington commandeered factories. In 2008, it bailed out banks and car makers with equity stakes. But today, in 2025, defense contractors are thriving. Their stocks are soaring. There is no collapse to fix, and there is no declared war to justify it. Like I said, this is not a rescue mission. This is about ambition. Trump is using an old wartime trick, but in peacetime. And that is what makes it appear so radical. Question number 4. What's in it for the White House? What do they hope to achieve? If Washington owns a part of Boeing or Palantir, it gets a direct seat at the table. Think about weapons. If Ukraine or Taiwan suddenly need more, the Pentagon would not just be the buyer, it would be a co-owner of the supplier. And that is serious leverage, although as a government, they already have a lot of leverage over defense companies, and contracts cannot happen without a nod from the government. Nonetheless, it's a way of making sure that corporate decisions align with White House priorities. That said, there are obviously some risks too. If the Pentagon is both buying weapons and profiting from the company that makes those weapons, how tough will it be on cost overruns? Who holds Lockheed Martin accountable? Because this could put company profits ahead of national strategy. It's like the watchdog wagging its tail. For years, the US defense industry has always been a strange hybrid: private corporations, public funding, national stakes. The relationship has always existed. Trump's latest move is only making it brazenly explicit. And this marks a shift in America. It raises the very question of what it means to run a free market in a country where the biggest customer and maybe soon the biggest shareholder is the Pentagon itself.